Hello YouTube and welcome back to another Dare to Game video. Today we're playing Medieval Dynasty and we're going to be continuing on with our What Order to Build Your Buildings In series. So last time we ended off on the intermediate level of building, or the farm level. And now we're going to show you what to build next. So just as a quick recap, we have 3 houses. So you see 1, 2, 3. Those are the 3 houses we have. We have our workshop, which we're going to be able to upgrade in this video because by the time you get to the point where you're able to go, you should be high enough level of crafting to keep going. We've got our barn down there. Over there we've got our hunting cabin, our survival building, you know. Woodshed over there, resource storage, and food storage back there. So, if this is the first time you're joining into this series, then the order as follows is, the first house should be the first building you build. Then you should build your resource storage. Then you can build your first resource gathering building. Then you need your second house, because if you're going to have someone to work in, you know, your resource gathering thing, you need resource storage so the wood can go somewhere, but they also need somewhere to live, so you need your house. Then the next thing you're going to want to build is your food storage, because you need your food storage before you can do any agriculture. Then the next thing you're going to want is your barn, and that way you can have fields and get another person who can either live in that second house you built, or you have another house. But that way you can recruit people who can work your fields. Then, once you've gotten to that level, and you have enough levels in your survival, obviously, so you're going to have to do some hunting and stuff on the side, you can get a hunting building, which is how you can hire someone to do some foraging for you and hunting. That way you have people gathering you other resources out of the wild, so you don't have to go looking for broadleaf plantain or hunting your own animals, stuff like that. So that's kind of where you're at the intermediate level. It kind of takes all of your basic resource needs away from you. So you no longer have to go chopping down trees. You no longer, well, I mean, you might if you're using a lot of wood because the production capabilities might not be high enough for you. But it takes a lot of it away. And you don't have to go looking for your own food, and you don't have to work your own fields. You can now hire people to do that. And then you can start looking into crafting. And the reason I say to do the workshop or smithy first is because tools are going to be the most important thing for making everything else. You have 3 basic resource things or crafting things that you can make, and you have the one for making tools, which is going to be your workshop and then smithy, and then you can make a sewing place and a tavern. All of those are important, but this one's the most important, so that's the order you do it in. House, storages, resource gathering places, and then you get yourself survival, and then you start working on this stuff. And you don't ever build any more houses than you need for people that you have working for you. So between the last video and this one, I had to recruit some people, so I now have 4 people in my settlement, ironically all women. Only people I could convince to come join me on Rough It Out in the Frontier. We have 9 buildings, and we can build some more. So we're going to show you what to build next to get to your next development level. So the very next thing I recommend building at this stage is going to be your tavern. And the reason we're going to want to do this is because it's going to give you the ability to hire someone to work in your tavern, and that helps your whole settlement's mood, which is very important. And it also gives you access to the more advanced cooking techniques, making flatbread, stuff like that, that's going to keep longer in your settlement. So we're going to do that. And since I've maxed out my smithing level, I have access to all of them, which means we're also going to be able to build at this stage. This is where you're going to want to get all this stuff, because now that you've gotten all of your basic needs done, you can start getting all the things that are going to make the game easier. So we're going to build our tavern first. And we're going to put it right over here somewhere. Right when we find a nice flat spot. Put it back as far as I can so I can have a little yard in front of it. Yeah, that looks like it's far enough away from the road. So let's just build it up. Alright, we now have our tavern completed. And you can see, nice and warm inside with the snow falling down through the solid wooden roof. Seems real legit. We've got access to all your baking needs. A cooking pot for all that jazz. A regular cooking grill for all the basic stuff. So, good to go. Our people are ready to get hammered drunk. The next thing we can do at this development level is just go ahead and upgrade this. So, let's just go ahead and there you go. Fully upgraded, just like magic. And now we have all the advantage of a forge that does absolutely nothing at the moment. I'm assuming when more advanced techniques get added in, this is going to be where we're going to be able to make stuff like swords or something. And I do think that's coming, because I did a mission where we had to recruit people to, like, the City Watch, and he talked about getting swords and chainmail and all that sort of stuff, so I'm really hoping that it's going to come at some point. But what we can do at the moment is all the wooden tools, all the stone tools, all the archery stuff, all the iron tools, well, except I don't have the technology to make shearing scissors yet, and all of these weapons, crossbows, bolts, iron arrows, all that sort of stuff. So at this level, you're already ready to go as far as making all of your, fancy, expensive tools go. And so we're going to follow on with this trend, and the very next building we're going to be building is going to be the last crafting building, which is going to be our sewing shop. We're going to, again, build it right next to here. So if you can see what I've done here, the reason I placed that there, the specific placement here is what obviously, this isn't the same location everyone's going to choose to build in, despite all the convenient reasons I chose to build here. But that's your resource storage. That's where you're going to keep the vast majority of everything you have. Here are your 3 crafting buildings, sewing, workshop, tavern, all right next to it. Think about it, it makes sense. But let's build this one up. And there we have it. Now we can sew anything we want. So we got our spinning wheel, which is where we're going to make our linen or wool thread out of wool or flax. Got a loom, which is where we're going to turn all of our thread into fabric. And then a tailoring table, where we're going to be able to make all the various types of clothing. So very, very exciting there. So now at this level of development, this is basically you're at a self-sufficient level of establishment. You can now make everything. You've got your agriculture taken care of, your resource gathering at least partially taken care of. The only other way to increase your capabilities there is to set up a mine. Unfortunately, this location isn't anywhere near a mine, so it's logistically difficult unless you set up your own separate mining camp. At this level of development, you can also go ahead and build your new resource storage. And now it's complicated to do this if you have a whole bunch of stuff in your resource storage. Luckily, I've only kept, a relatively low supply of stuff. Well, not low, but enough so that I could build stuff, but I can drop it and pick it up later and everything. So there's basically 2 ways to build a new resource storage. Either you build it somewhere else, so if you've got plenty of room, you build your new resource storage somewhere else, and that's where you just keep it and you just transfer all the goods over and then you destroy your old one. Or you just take all your stuff out, build the new one here, and then put it back in, which is what I'm going to do. So let's do that. I'm going to wreck it. All right, now let's get our new resource storage built up. Don't want to go too long without it. And now as far as stuff like this goes, where you're just upgrading buildings, really as soon as you have the ability to upgrade to the next level, you should always take advantage of that. So let's build this one up. Alright, so you got your new upgraded storage. And like I said, whenever it's something like this, at this development stage, you don't have to have the highest thing leveled up, but that's when you're going to want to start putting the resources. Same for this. Anytime you have an upgraded building, it's time to put that building in. Don't wait, it's going to be more durable, you're going to have to spend less time fixing it, all of that stuff. Alright, so now that we've got all that stuff done, you've basically got all the industrial stuff built. It's now time to put down a couple more houses because you're going to want to have the freedom to recruit people to your town so you can start getting working and everything. And now that you've got all these houses built, or all these buildings built, and we can still build 5 more buildings, we can build at least 2 more houses real comfortably. So let's just go ahead and do that. Houses are going to be a good opportunity to use up some of this more rough territory where we can't actually build anything else. So we can build one there, and we can build one here. See? Look at that. Starting to build a little bit more depth to our village. So let's go ahead and get these built. Alright, another house built. Let's take a nap and see what we can do in the morning. Alright, and so like I've said, unless you live on a lake, so you can build a fishing hut, or you live by a mine, or by a tunnel, so you can make a mine, that's just about the last thing to do at this stage. So we've now got houses for all the settlers. We can recruit lots of settlers to live in our village. We've got all your crafting places. So you've got this, this, and this. We got your storages built. We've got resource gathering centers. We've got everything. So that is the what do you call it? What's between intermediate and advanced? Because advanced is the next stage of village building. So this is between there. This is journeyman. I don't know. That's probably where we're gonna go. This is your journeyman village. So that's all we're gonna do for today. I hope you liked it. Hope it answered any questions you may have about building order, or maybe you just enjoy watching things built in high speed. But that's where we're going to end it for today, so we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching another Dare to Game video. If you like this video, please leave a like and a comment. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you like my content and would like to support this channel, consider becoming a member today for as little as $1.99 a month. It makes a huge difference. But in any case, thanks for watching and have a nice day. I'll see you next time.